I love you too, Nordberg. Who were they?
Ship. Boat.
That's right, Nordberg, a boat. Now, when you're better, we'll go sailing together on a boat. We'll take a cruise just like last year.
It's drugs.
Hey, nurse. Quick, give this man some drugs. Quick, can't you see he's in pain?
No.
Give him a shot, quickly.
No. Heroin. Heroin, Frank.
Welcome back to the Bo Show, and as we play that clip of Naked Gun, it kind of leads into this next segment. You know, those are one of my favorite movies of all time, and with Leslie Nielsen. You gotta love, you had to love Leslie Nielsen movies. They just, he could do so much with so little. Just pure old-fashioned comedy shtick, as the old comedians of vaudeville would say. God rest Leslie Nielsen's soul. He died last year, November 28th. And the world will sorely miss those great comedic acts that he used to perform. But with that clip, it leads into our next segment, which is, this is a once-in-a-lifetime interview and a once-in-a-lifetime chance, as we are going to try to get this an exclusive story with O.J. Simpson before Oprah Winfrey gets her hands on him. So we're going to take it now to Lovelock, Nevada, at the Lovelock Correctional Facilities. O.J., can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, buddy.
From a sportsman's point of view, I'm telling you, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. O.J., you are a 6-time Pro Bowl selection. You're a 5 times voted All-Pro. You're a member of the NFL's 75th anniversary all-time team, a member of the 70s all-decade team. You won the 1968 Heisman Trophy. You won the UPI Player of the Year in 68, as well in 67. You were NFL MVP in 1973. You were a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, as well as the College Football Hall of Fame. And not to mention that your 11,236 yards and a 4 points, the 11,236 yards, it ranks 9th on the all-time NFL rushing list, along with your 4.7 yards per carry average, which ranks 4th all-time. 61 rushing touchdowns. Man, what a career. You spent all total 11 seasons in the NFL from 1969 to 1979. 8 of those with the Buffalo Bills and the San Francisco 49ers. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
And not to mention how good of a golfer that you are as well. Playing in a lot of pro-ams and a lot of celebrity tournaments. It used to run when I was a kid. I remember watching you play, and you're not too bad of a golfer.
I wish I could play on the golf tour. I wish I could be a senior in golf.
And maybe you can once you get out of prison in 2018. You'll be the age of 73 years old. That's a good age. You seem like you're still in pretty phenomenal shape.
I try to be versatile.
Well, that's always good to be. Try to be versatile. Now, Juice, if I may I call you Juice to start with?
Yes.
Okay, then, Juice. Let's get down to brass tacks here. I'm going to ask you several questions, and because basically I'd rather have this story and this exclusive from a sports fan's point of view better than I would Oprah Winfrey. And first off, let me ask you this, Juice. Are you surprised in any way how Oprah Winfrey is trying to get you to, is trying to publicize this in America about how she's going to get you on the show and she's going to get you to confess? Are you surprised by that?
Well, I'm a little surprised by it. I was surprised by it immediately when I first attempted to talk on TV. I was surprised by the reaction to a certain special interest group. They didn't want me to speak. This is America, I'm told.
And yes, you're right, O.J. This is America, and you should be allowed to speak on TV or here on Rebssports Radio's Bo Show. The next question I'd like to ask is, a lot of people say, and this is documented, that you're sociopathic. Do you feel like that you're sociopathic? And if you were, when do you think it started for you?
I think I was in the 3rd grade.
Wow. Do you think that was because your parents had separated and divorced when you were 5? Do you think that had a lot to do with it, or do you think it was just something you were born with?
Well, as a kid, I never thought about it, but in my 2nd year in pro ball.
Well, sometimes parents' problems can traumatize a child. So you were in your 2nd year of pro ball when you started having these sociopathic tendencies.
Yes.
So what exactly would you do when you would have these tendencies? Did you torture animals, set things on fire, wet the bed?
Yes.
Very interesting. So how did you cope with these tendencies? What was your means of release other than you release on another human being besides playing football? What would you do in between those times as your release from these tendencies that you had?
Golf.
Well, I do agree. That is a great release from stress and tension. In fact, I play a little bit down here from time to time at the Dogwoods here in Grenada, which is a wonderful course we have. And if you ever get out, you'll have to come and play around with me, I guess. But anyway, Juice, let's get back to what we were talking about. You know, I never would have known by the way I seen you on TV entertaining the troops in 1990 over at Operation Desert Storm that you had this inside of you. Every time I always seen you on television, on your commercials or doing the movies or interview, you always seem so happy. And that's one thing I don't understand. You always seem like a happy guy.
I like more to try to make people smile than anything else, you know. It's been my way. When I give speeches, I have a message within my speech, but I like to be entertaining because you don't want to be too heavy. And if someone picks something up from it, something that can help them in dealing with all the stress and pressures that we all are forced to, face with in our lives, all the better.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, it's hard to deal with stress and pressures. You know, sometimes I think to myself when I'm out here doing my regular job and how, just, oh, man, I would just like to grab a gun right now and just shoot this guy. But, I keep those thoughts away. It's just a spur-of-the-moment thing. But you were able to actually put some of that into motion. And how did you go about controlling that whenever those urges really seemed to hit you?
Golf.
Here's an article I read about recently, Juice, while we're talking about stress relievers. It appears that you have been assaulted in prison. It wasn't too long ago since you've been in there. I hate to ask this, but it's my job. Have you been abused quite frequently in prison? I mean, by guards or inmates? Have you been sexually abused by anyone there?
Well, yeah, I get abused and misused. Like my voice is going down, been abused here. But anyway, I look at it like the Wile E. Coyote in the Roadrunner movies that, this guy takes a licking, but he keeps on kicking. He keeps coming back.
Man, that is just terrible. I mean, you should probably report that to the warden or unless it's a guard, or you just need to sit down with the warden. I'm sure that he'll believe, if you just do that. And I don't ever condone any kind of abuse to a human being, whether they're in prison or not. And here at the Bo Show, we try to stand up for those rights of people that, the people have made mistakes. But Juice, man, I wouldn't take anything like that. If I was you, I would do something about it. Put up a fight. I mean, do you know anywhere where you could get something? Do you know of anything that you could use to fight these people off with? Do you have anything personally you use?
Swiss Army knife.
Well, you might think about using that the next time someone tries to hurt you, Juice. Why haven't you spoken out? Why haven't you talked to someone about this that's going on here? I mean, this just isn't right. Please tell us why you haven't spoke out against this.
There were people that didn't want me to speak even.
Who didn't want you to speak out? Talk to us, Juice. This is what we're here for. Please talk about it. Who is it that doesn't want you to speak out against the injustices that's going on against you in Nevada?
I think the media. I think the media is the media where they were lied to.
Really? The media? Man, I can't believe that. I mean, I'm a member of the media, and I'm here to be your friend. I'm here to talk with you. I'm trying to get you to talk to me and all of our listeners here on Rebssports Radio about what's going on. Juice, you've got to get down to the bottom of this, man. You can't keep putting up with this. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
Well, anyway, OJ, we ain't got but a couple of more minutes left in this segment and this interview. I mean, I'd love to continue on talking, but I think me and you both are on time constraints at this point. Are you interested, once you get out of prison, maybe perhaps starring in another Naked Gun movie if it was offered, if by chance I know you seem to have a lot of fun with those movies.
Well, I like working with interesting people who are fun. The Zuckers who do the Naked Gun stuff is fun.
Well, that's exactly what I just said, that those are very fun movies, and I think we all enjoyed them out here. So incidentally, when you get out of prison, are you thinking of returning back to where you lived before in Los Angeles at Brentwood, or do you think you'll move on somewhere else since the neighborhood has changed so much?
I would tell you that the majority of those people in that group was not from Brentwood. And I would ask any news media out there, you go back.
Also, let me ask you this. How are the conditions, especially how is the food there at the Nevada State Correctional Facility?
Not too bad.
Well, that's a handy bit of information to know for all Mississippians out there listening, that if you go to prison in Nevada, the food's not too bad. Well, Juice, we're running short on time, but there's a couple of questions that I would like to get an answer to, and I'm sure that everybody in our listening audience would love to hear. Did you really do your own stunts at Naked Gun, like going down the steps at Dodger Stadium in the wheelchair? A lot of people say you lied about doing that.
That I was what?
That you were lying about doing your own stunts. Anyway, never mind that. Listen, this is the question that everybody in America, in the world, wants to know. And here, you're going to hear it exclusive here on the Rebssports Radio's own The Bo Show. OJ, did you do it?
Yes.
There you have it, folks, right here on The Bo Show, an exclusive with O.J. Simpson. He just confessed to taking booster money from USC boosters back in the 60s. What? Did you think I was going to ask some other question? Anyway, that wraps up this segment. We thank you, O.J. Enjoy the rest of your time, and we'll be right back with the Red and Blue Collar Sports Report here on The Bo Show on Rebssports Radio.